Good morning, everyone. It's Sarah, and welcome to Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. This is our live video chat, and every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, we do a live video chat over on the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page. Good morning, Caitlin. You're the first one to clink in. Well, as I was saying, if you want to watch the video live, we do the live video on the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And I see a bunch more of you clinking in. Joy and Heather and Leslie, Stacy, Karen, Dana. So glad to see so many of you here early in the morning, Leslie. And if you'll notice, I'm wearing a new shirt, and I purchased this shirt. It says Coffee and Crochet, and it's got the little skein of yarn over here and the coffee cup on this side. And I purchased this shirt through what I think it's called Teespring. And I'll have to tell you, I'm a little bit disappointed. Well, when I went to order it, the picture that I saw, the blue was quite a bit lighter. It was more of a sky blue. And I like royal blue. It's pretty, but I just, when you're expecting one thing and you get another. The other thing is they said to order up a size. Well, I normally wear an extra large, but I thought I'll order it in the 3X so it will be nice and roomy because it's 100% cotton. Well, this is a 3X. So really, I should have got a 4X or something because they're super duper tiny. And that's because, of course, the t-shirts are made in, I think, China or Japan or something. And so they're made a lot tinier. And they really should put on their website, order up a couple of sizes, not just two. The other thing is that the neck is really small. I mean, I don't have a huge head, or maybe I do, but I don't think so. And I had a hard time getting it over my head this morning. And this is a 3X t-shirt. So make sure when you order, if you want to order one of these from Teespring, order it up a couple of sizes. Really check the color because, like I said, the color is a lot darker than I anticipated. But I do like the shirt. It's cute. I don't know that I'll order another one, but I thought I'd let you know, just, so you can make a decision yourself. I've ordered other things through there, and they've been fine. This particular shirt just wasn't. So anyway, I thought I would let you know that. Well, I see a bunch more have clinked in. Tammy, Dawn, and Kimberly, Marlene, and Helen. Let's see. Tracy, Karst. I just love that name. It's so pretty. Teresa, Sandra. There's Joy again. And Teresa and Tracy. Okay, let's go ahead and clink in. I've got my spring butterfly cup today. Clinky, clink, clink. And if you don't know what that means, it's just a bunch of silly friends clinking in together. And since we're not having wine, usually you clink your wine glasses. We're having coffee or whatever. You can have wine if you want to. Whatever you're drinking. We're just clinking in and saying hello. We're here and it's something fun and silly to do. Okay, so someone sent me this in an email this morning. I was griping because I used to go to the gym 4 days a week in the morning and swim laps. Well, our gym has gotten so crowded that you can't get a lane to swim anymore. And so I haven't done it in about a year. And I was complaining about not getting enough exercise. So someone sent this little poem to me today. I guess it's just not really a poem, it's just a saying. It says this: some days I eat salad and I go to the gym. And some days I eat chocolate and crochet all day. It's called balance. I thought that was awesome. It is balance. I do walk a lot. We live on 5.5 acres, and I have my, my two little chihuahuas, and we walk all over the place. You just have to be really careful because, snakes are out, and we get other animals around like skunks. So we have to be really careful, really watch. And my little Rosie, that girl, the other morning, we have deer all the time, and they are totally used to my dogs because I think it's like the same couple of herds that are around all the time. And we had a bunch out front, probably 20, 25. And I take my dogs out front, and they're walking around. The deer are used to them. They don't mind. Well, a bunny came in the yard. Rosie, my little red chihuahua, spotted that bunny and took off running after that bunny. While the bunny decided to run right through the pack of the herd of deer. And so Rosie started running towards the herded deer. Well, the deer saw the bunny and Rosie running towards them. And so I was right in the way and they started running right where I was standing. Well, we had a big mound because we had the big snow and we had that big drift across the front yard. It's not in our driveway anymore. And so I'm running towards the house as fast as my little chubby legs will take me. And Maximo, he doesn't even notice. He's over underneath one of the trees, just, sprinkling, doesn't even care. It was great. And then, of course, once the bunny was off into the thicket, and Rosie just meanders back over to the house. I love living here. I love the nature, but sometimes it can be really silly. I'm glad nobody got that on video because that would be very embarrassing to see me run with the deer running at me and Rosie and the bunny. All right, enough of the silliness. Today I want to talk about, last week we did the squares that are the cross. Oh, that one you can't see. The light's so bright. Let me get the darker one. We did the cross square that can also be used as, let me see if I can get this in the right light. There we go. That can also be used as a prayer cloth. And so I decided I wanted to make mine into a lap gan. And a lot of people have been asking me, how are you going to put those all together with them being all different colors? And I'm going to show you what I do. And there are literally thousands of ways to join squares. And this is the way that I like to do it when I have a lot of different colors and I don't really want that seam to show too much. Now, there's no way ever to keep from getting your seam to show if your colors are different colors. All right, or your squares are different colors. So let me click over to my other camera here and let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here is a bunch of squares. Okay, I'm going to move those out of the way for now. And then this is some that I've already joined together. And the way that I do it, you can see you still have a little bit of a seam, but it's on the back side. I'm going to turn this over, and yes, it's going to be messy because I haven't weaved in the ends yet. Okay, and so on the back here, you can see where I've done my slip stitch sewing. All right, I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, I'm going to set that blanket aside and grab another square. There's 2 squares. All right, now these are all made with worsted weight number 4 yarn. I did them all in Red Heart Super Saver. And when I make a blanket, I like to try to stay in the same fiber of yarn. Now, if you're doing yours all in cotton, stay with your same fiber of yarn for your trim. All right, I'm going to use this white, also Red Heart Super Saver white. And let me show you how I do this. You're going to need your hook. Use the same size hook that you made your squares out of, which this is a 5.0 millimeter, which is an H. And when you go to weave your ends in, of course, you'll need a needle. When I'm doing a blanket, I'm doing squares together, I'll do a row, then I'll weave those ends in, then I'll do the next row. That one I didn't do that way because I wanted to get as much done as possible so I could show you. All right, so here I have 2 squares. They're both 7 inches by 7 inch squares. And as long as your squares are all the same size, it doesn't matter. And then I take the fronts, make sure whatever my design is going the same direction, and I put them together with the front sides together and the outsides on the outside. All right, then I decide where I'm going to put them together. This one, we're going to be going across the side because I'm making a row first. Now, if you'll look on your ends, you'll see that you have 2 sets of loops on the top of both of them. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch with this white yarn, and we're going to go on the outside loops. So if you look on this blue one, this is a front loop and this is a back loop. We're going to go on the front loop of this side, and then on the pink one, here's your front and your back. We're going to go on the back loop of that side. And so those are the outside loops on both sides. We're going to grab in our white, bring it in, make our little chain 1 so it stays put. And then we're going to simply slip stitch across, sewing them together with the outside loops. All right, so here's my outside on my blue one, the outside on my pink one. Pull the loop through, then pull that loop through the loop. Whoops. Get those back on there. That's on your hook. There you go. And occasionally, because you're doing a simple trim on the outside, you may have 1 or 2 extra loops. And what I do, and what I mean by extra loops is just extra stitches across. Let's say this side had 20 and this side had 19. You would just skip over or stitch in, making sure it's even. And what I mean by that is, let's say I've got 2 loops in the space of 1 over here. So what I would do is I would maybe skip that one and go ahead and go in this next one just to even things up. And I do it throughout, not on the end, or you end up with it looking like this, where one is farther up than the other. And this is where, again, you have to kind of eyeball it and make sure that you stay even, always stitching on the outside of the loops. And we're stitching a slip stitch. We're going in the outside of the blue and the outside of the pink, which this side is the front, that side is the back loop. Pull the loop through, then pull that loop through the loop that's on your hook. Now I'm choosing to do a slip stitch. A lot of people prefer a single crochet, but I like the slip stitch for this style because you don't get that extra ridge on the back of your blanket. It's not really a big deal, it's just a preference. And a lot of things in crochet are a preference. Like I said, there are thousands and thousands of ways to join squares. I like the join as you go also. It's really a nice way to do things. But with these, I wanted a whole bunch of different colors in pastels. And so, Max is snoring over there. Sorry about that. He is having a major sinus issue. That's my little white chihuahua, so he's snoring a little. All right, now, I'm coming up towards the end. Everything seems to be pretty lined up. And this also, doing it this way, it works up really fast. One thing to be careful when you're doing this is not to pull these stitches too tightly because you don't want your squares to pucker. Alrighty? Alright, so now I'm coming up to the end. Make sure I get those last few stitches. And I always make sure I go, there's that outside loop, almost went to the inside. Just like that. My scissors are right here. We'll cut that. We'll tie that off, and what I usually do is I'll open it up this way, and I'll just pull that string down in here out of the way. Same thing on this end, out of the way, and then I'll come back in and weave those in later. Alright, so the next thing I do, let me turn this over so you can see how it looks. You can see the white just a little bit in between, but see how those loops are across here, and it makes it, you know, butt right up there nice and tightly, and it looks real pretty. I'm going to grab this other one real quick, and what I do is I'll do, these are upside down, there we go, I'll do a whole row across, okay, and then I'll do the next row, and I've chosen to do mine 4 wide. I was going to do them 6 wide, but I decided that was too big for a lap can, okay, because this is just something to throw on your lap if you're watching TV or something. And then I'll do 2 rows, and then I'll put the 2 rows together, and I want to show you the back here because I started down here and I went completely across, all the way across, and I'll show you this again when we get back up to the other camera. And that's the way that I do it. And I'm going to move back over here to the front camera. And this is one of my favorite ways to join squares, especially if they're squares that are all different colors like these. All right, I'm going to grab this blanket and show you again. Hit my notes there. Here's the front. And it's important to make sure whatever your design is, that they're all going the same direction. I put on the bottom row upside down, see? And so I had to go back in and fix that bottom row so that the crosses were laying the right direction. And, but what, my notes keep flying up. So like what I do is I'll do a whole row across. I'm doing 4 across. Then I'll do another row 4 across. And you can see they're just kind of randomly there. There's no set pattern. I just made sure they were separated. And then I'll put the two together, the two rows, and I'll do that seam of slip stitches going all the way through. And one thing I also do, you can see where I have two strings there. I'll tie those in a knot just to help that center close up good. That's one of the things that I struggle just a little bit with, is when I'm doing squares, I don't want there to be a hole in that corner. All right. And that's what I do. It's a really simple way to do it. I'm going to put that over there. And it works great if you're doing squares for a pillow or whatever you're doing. It just works really well for a nice joined up tight squares. But like I said, I mean, this is just my favorite way of doing it. And remember, when it comes to crochet, there is no wrong way. There's just your preference. You know, except, like stitches, a single crochet is always a single crochet, but what I'm saying is when it comes to techniques and things, even something as simple as, say, the crocodile stitch. There are hundreds of different ways to do a crocodile stitch. And you may want to do 3 double crochets on each side, or someone else might just want 2. Or the same thing with the corner to corner block stitch. There are hundreds and thousands of ways to do a corner to corner blanket, or whatever you're doing, corner to corner, or C2C, whatever you want to call it. And so don't get yourself all bound up in that it has to be a certain way. And it's what I always say about crochet. You can probably quote me on this. Crochet is an ever-changing and growing art with new yarns and new techniques coming out all the time. Don't box yourself in. Allow yourself to grow and change and learn new techniques you've never heard of. I mean, I've been crocheting for over 40 years and I'm still learning stuff all the time. And so, but anyway, I said all that to say this, that is my favorite way to join squares. And I like to do it that way. And if you're doing the Grandtastic Crochet Along with us, that's the way we're going to be joining those squares as well. All right, but we're going to do a little bit of a twist on it that I think you'll like. All right, so that was our thing we were going to show today. And I already showed you the squares. And that was a pattern we put out, I think, last Thursday. I actually was not going to do these squares just yet. I was going to do it a little closer to Easter. But a friend of mine, and I get the question several times, what are they used for? And so what it is it's just a square. It has a cross made out of bobble stitches. And a friend of mine, she has a ministry where she goes and takes food or sometimes a fresh package of socks or underwear or something to someone who is a shut-in. And what she does is she'll go and visit them. Some of them are military people who, sometimes you come back to America, you're a little disjointed, and she helps them with food or different things that they may need. And she leaves them a square. And when she leaves them a square, she says a little prayer with them, and then she tells them, I'm leaving you this little cross square or prayer cloth so that you know I always care about you, and if you need me, you can get a hold of me. And she'll leave a little card that has a phone number with her organization where they can get a hold of her. And it's just, and she asked me, because I did this pattern years and years ago, and I hadn't updated it, and it needed some work. And she asked me if I was going to do a video on that. And I said, I did have plans, but not quite yet, but I'll go ahead and do it just for you. And so then I had a lot of people ask me what they were used for and how to make a blanket out of it. And so I thought I would just demonstrate that today. The other thing we did this last week were these cute little bunny coasters. These are so cute. Here's a green one I did, and green and yellow and white. I've got a light for some reason that's shining odd today. I don't know why. Maybe it's my bright shirt. I don't know. But anyway, here's one that's the original one that we did in pink and purple, and it's just a cute little bunny. He's got crazy cockeyed ears and a little puff tail, and it's a great size. Let me grab my cup of coffee here, because you can put a small cup of coffee here, but you can also put something bigger if you want to on him. And you can make them out of cotton, you can make them out of acrylic, whatever is your preference. Remember, if you're going to put something on it that's going to sweat, like say a glass of soda that you've got ice in that's going to sweat, make these out of cotton. That way it'll absorb that cotton. But if you just want to protect your table or, you know, just have them cute and sitting around. You can make them out of acrylic yarn. And again, it's a preference. All right. And then yesterday, we finally got the test back on Saturday. I was waiting for this, and I have so many wonderful people that send these, and I'll have to show you. I've got a whole bunch of these. This is the pink one with tulips. These are Easter egg washcloths. This is a yellow one with purple tulips. This one is made out of cotton, and it's got the pink tulips. And this is the one we did for our demonstration. It's purple with pink tulips. And then I also showed you how to take those tulip stitches, turn them upside down, and make them into fun little carrots. Isn't that cute? I think this one's my favorite now. So you have lots of options for your washcloths. These can be hot pads, pot holders, washcloths. They can just be used to set on the table and put a candy dish on, decorate and hang them up everywhere you want. And if you make two together, you can stuff, do your single crochet around and stuff it and make a little stuffy as well. Just the same size. And the last thing is, if you want it to just be a thicker hot pad, you can make two, put them together, and single crochet around. You've got a double thick hot pad. And I think it would be fun to take two that are two different colors so that you have a different color on each side. So it's very versatile, lots of fun ideas. And I was so happy to get that one done yesterday because it's been sitting there waiting for the test to come back, and they finally did. And I absolutely love this hot pad. It measures, I don't have my notes on it, but I think it's about 9 inches long and about 6.5 or 7 inches wide. I can't remember exactly how wide it is at its widest point. But it's a great way also to use up a bunch of your leftover spring colors and make some fun things. This and this both can be made from your leftover spring colors of yarn, and then your yarn's not wasted. I hate wasting yarn, so it never gets wasted. I always make something out of it. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to remind you about is that this is our last Tuesday in March, I believe. Let's see, today's the 25th. It is. I think today's the 26th, actually. I can't remember. Anywho, today is the last Tuesday in March, and next week starts our crochet along for spring. And what we're going to be doing is making this cute little chick. This is the mama chick. And on Friday of this week, we're going to do the baby chicks. And the baby chicks is just a little tiny chick, super cute. You can stuff them, or you can put an egg inside for like a little plastic egg or a real egg inside for an egg cozy. And I'm going to show you a little technique that I use to make little stuffies so that the stuffing doesn't come out. All right. And then we're also going to, the crochet along is going to be to make the mama chick. And I used these 3 different colors. You can use any colors, or you can do it all one color. It's up to you what you want to do. She is made out of worsted weight number 4 Red Heart Super Saver. And she's a really nice size. And I like to make the baby chicks and the mama chick so they can use them as a play set and have some fun with it, okay? And you just need yarn and stuffing. And of course a crochet hook. But we'll get into all of that stuff next Monday. I'll give you all the information in a video and on the blog, what you need to make her and to get started so that you can get your supplies and be ready. We're going to do part 1 on Monday, all right? So that if you want to be involved in the crochet along, that's going to happen next Monday. Then next Tuesday, when we have our live video chat, I'm going to tell you all about April's giveaway. And I'm really excited about this one. I had 2 books. They're going to be 2 books that are sent to me, and I'm going to be giving those away. And I'm not going to tell you what they're crochet, so don't panic. It's not like tatting, or although I like tatting, it's just I can't do it anymore. But anyway, we're going to be giving away 2 books, and by the same author, and that'll be for our giveaway in April. I'll tell you all about it next Tuesday, and then 2 weeks after that, I'll choose a winner for that. All right? So, that's a lot going on this week, huh? I love spring. It's my favorite time of year. Although I love the snow too. I love spring because everything is growing. Everything is, budding. Flowers are popping up, and it is just my absolute favorite time of year. And I have a few more Easter and spring projects for you that'll be on the YouTube and blog. So I've got a velvet bunny, and I'm going to be showing you how to do a velvet bunny pill. It's super cute. And a few other things. I've got another little chunky Easter basket and some other things that I'm really excited about getting out. And then also some things that are not Easter, but spring. And so I'm really excited about it. I love, like I said, I love this time of year, and I love crocheting this time of year. And don't think that just because the weather's getting warm, you have to stop crocheting. There are lots and lots and lots of fun things that we can do through the warmer months as well. All right. Well, I'm going to let everybody go today. Let's do our last clink in. Clink. Oh, I'm not holding the handle. That's so silly. Clink. And remember, like I said, some days I eat salad and go to the gym. And some days I eat chocolate and crochet all day. It's called balance. We'll see y'all next week.